welcome back to Fix of Faith. To those of you that watched the first episode, I just want to say thank you. I learned a lot from it, fixed some areas, and hopefully make it more enjoyable for you. In the next couple episodes, I want to talk about why I think the Bible is true and give you some evidence to that claim. But before we get there, I want to talk about 5 guidelines that I use whenever I interpret the Bible. I use that term loosely. What I actually mean is, what does the God-inspired word try to convey to me? Before we jump into that, I have 2 definitions to go over. The first one is exegesis, and the second one is eisegesis. Here are the definitions for both. Exegesis is critical explanation or interpretation of a text, especially Scripture. Eisegesis is interpretation of a text by reading one's own ideas, biases, or assumptions into the text, rather than drawing the text's original meaning. So the last one's the one that you want to try to avoid, and that's why I use these guidelines, starting with number 1. Always read the passage or the verse within context. Ask yourself, what is the author trying to convey to me? Number 2, never read just one verse. Oftentimes you have to read the verse before and the verse after to get the full context of the verse you're looking at. Remember, the numbering system that we have today wasn't in the original Bible, so it's a little bit harder to misread or misinterpret the Bible back then than it is today, because we often just look at one verse, which is a very poor practice. Number 3, you have to understand the literary style that the author is using. The Bible is full of historical narrative, hyperbole, metaphors, poetry even, and you have to understand which one the author is using at that time. If I see a metaphor and I take it literally, I've already taken it out of context and I'm already misrepresenting it. Number 4, reread the passage and try to reread it again. The more times you reread a passage and try to understand it, the more you'll understand about it. You can even do this with a friend or try to get a commentary outside of the Bible to understand it better. But to understand the passage, you oftentimes have to come back to it. Some passages are harder than others to understand, so it's okay not to get it the first time or to fully understand it the first time. And number 5, which I believe is the most important, it kind of goes along with number 4, but is be able to change your mind. If you have an understanding of a passage and you think you're wrong or you know you're wrong, change your mind and go along about it. God doesn't want us to continue in error or misrepresenting the Bible. We have to understand it completely. So with these guidelines that you see on the screen now, let's put these to the test by reading Matthew 7:1. Judge not that you be not judged. Pretty simple passage, don't you think? It's Jesus speaking and he's telling us not to judge, right? Well, we're not getting the full context. So let's go to number 2. Let's read the passages before and the passages after. In this case, the passage before doesn't really give us any new context, but the ones after sure do. So let's read Matthew 7:1-6 now. Judge not that you be not judged, for with the judgment you pronounce you will be judged, and with the measure you use it will be measured to you. Why do you see the speck in your brother's eye, but you do not notice the log that is in your own eye? Or how can you say to your brother, let me take the speck out of your eye, when there is a log in your own eye? You hypocrite! First take the log out of your own eye, and then you will see clearly to take the speck out of your brother's eye. Do not give dogs what is holy, and do not throw your pearls before pigs, lest they trample them underfoot and turn to attack you. So what is Jesus trying to convey to us here? I don't think he's telling us not to judge, like it says if we just read the one passage. But if we read all the passages together, I believe it's telling us how to judge, and it starts with ourselves. We can't take the speck out of our brother's eye if we have a log in our own. That is, if we're sinning in error, we need to fix our own sin and our own error before we can try to help fix their sin and their error. So, with these guidelines, I believe that you'll have a good foundation to interpret the Bible and understand passages. Some passages will take longer to understand than others. Some are harder, some are easier. In the description, I'll leave a link to a Fox News story that I think really hones in on what bad interpretation of the Bible does when you're not using these guidelines or similar guidelines. There are also more guidelines that you can use to help you understand Bible passages even better. I hope this video was helpful for you, and I hope to see you on the next one. God bless.